Hello and welcome back to my Let's Play, Victoria 2 Pop Demand Mod Divide by Zero Mod 1.5c, which is now an outdated version, but here we'll keep using it just for the hell of it. I'll be continuing this time thanks to a comment by Isaiah Soto with the conquest of Bosnia. At least that's my goal, but of course that will be a bit of a challenge since they're currently allied with Austria. I'll be looking for a quick alliance with either Prussia or France to facilitate that, also working on tech and trying to build up something that resembles an army. So let's get started. Of course, the economy falls apart instantly after an unpause. Anyway, I'm looking to get clergymen up to about 4% to begin with, since the current literacy rate is absolutely pathetic. Also looking to save up a little bit of cash, but I'll be dropping the tariffs whenever possible. Money is fairly easy to come by in this particular mod. Unlike, for example, PUIR, it's actually not that bad. On the other hand, there's quite an expansive set of trade goods available, and this is of course the early game ones. There'll be additional ones added later on. So I might be cropping out some sections. As I mentioned, I'll be recording about an hour and a half and just see what happens during that time. So starting to build up a new stack and sort of refresh my memory here on what's going on. The supply limits here in Galicia Lodomeria are fairly low, but as you can see, there are about 600,000 Galician rebels or nationalists who are ready to form about 208 rebel brigades, so that will definitely be an issue before long. I find that election decisions are generally useless, so I don't put too much stock in answering them one way or the other. So here I'm researching idealism, which as before does provide a nice research point boost, although here it's distributed a little bit more than it would be otherwise. Next I'll be going for medicine so I can stack more units in Galicia for the inevitable rebels. Notice I do have military spending on max for that very reason. And a 4.4% chance as of this moment. And there they come. Not as bad as it could have been. I'll pause for just a moment. And I'll be switching clergymen here from Transdanubia. Let's go Central Hungary just in case Galicia Lodomeria splits off. I'll be holding off on that for just a little while. Hopefully none of my units get wiped. That one's at risk. Not looking good. But I still have military access. I do not. So unfortunately it looks like I'll be losing this unit. Some incredible rolls notwithstanding. And some incredible rolls it looks like. And of course the Jacobins stack on top of the existing rebels. Why? Because screw you, that's why. It's a suicidal unit. I'll be moving this one out because he's certainly a risk where he is. And it looks like unit is now traveling to Kosice. that is how you pronounce it. I honestly don't know. Let's see, 21st. Let's go that way. So it definitely could have been worse, but of course this is just the first of many. Slowing things down a tiny bit as we go along. Looks like those forts didn't quite get built in time. Very close, but not quite. And very low org. I'll be waiting a few days for that to recover. Removing the Gauch Buffoon, and again waiting a few days. Let's see what happens now. Not bad. So at the moment the rebels are still fairly weak. It'll be another 18 years before they get an upgrade. And I think by then I'll have a fairly decent army built up. So the first wave of rebels, not too bad. A lot of Ruthenians will be coming next. Ruthenians spawn in this area, so I'll be moving to the east once I clear this stack out. Again, if you have any comments, especially soon after this is posted, feel free to let me know what you think, what I could change, do differently, etc. If you like anything in particular that I'm doing, or maybe if you're just a fan of this mod, certainly be interested to know that. But as I said, my goal for the day will be to take down the Ottoman Empire single-handedly, since it doesn't appear I'll have enough diplomatic points for any help. And maybe I'll get an alliance if I'm lucky here, but we'll see. So my goal for the day is to take Bosnia, and whatever happens, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. So you can see Austria still has way too many allies and is a threat to me. Maybe Italy would be a good ally actually, but at the moment I don't have enough diplomatic points to do anything, so problems for a little bit in the future, I suppose. A lot of very depopulated soldiers at the moment. Railroads are being built. Most of those should be out within the next year. And the Ottomans are on their way to... Am I conquering Hejaz? Yes, taking Hejaz. And also attempting to conquer Hale. Hopefully the British will come and rip the Ottomans a new one, after which marching in and taking Bosnia will be really no challenge at all. Sorry to say, but we'll see what happens. Of course, sometimes the AI is a little bit stupid and won't actually bother to come in and do anything, so... It would be kind of funny if they managed to humiliate the British Empire. I'm actually almost equal in military power to the Ottomans. Let's pause when we get a rebellion, might be a good idea. Not much of a rebellion in Ruthenia, it seems. Fairly easy to take down. No issues, no real casualties, so that turned out quite well. And as you can see, there's still, at least at the moment, still plenty of Ruthenians coming. The Galicians have been knocked down a little bit. It's like a possibility of 43 more Ruthenians and only 20 more Galicians, so certainly manageable at this point. I think, at least for the time being, the possibility of a rebel-induced break-off of Galicia Lodomeria has been averted. Let's see how the UK is doing, if it's doing anything. Ottoman war score is probably still at 0. Okay, very low, 4%. Not much going on there. Of course, we will insist that Galicia is ours, as if there were any question. Medicine here also gives us an additional 0.01% to population, which is always welcome. Let's see. Prussia will not take an alliance just yet. Probably need about 45-50 more diplomatic, probably need 45 or 50 more relations points for that. Be trying toward that as a goal. And here you can see we're now rolling in cash. So I'll be dropping this down substantially. Of course, the biggest money sink in any given 4-year period is the World Fair, so I need to keep about 400,000 on reserve for that, just in case. But otherwise, I've got plenty to maintain my prestige, at least for the time being. So I'll be doing whatever I can to keep people happy. And it looks like the Ottomans are still managing to hold on to their possessions. Let's see if there are any English ships around in the vicinity. So on a quick excursion, a venture out into the unknown. At the moment, everything is unknown. And a lone Ottoman ship. Most likely a frigate. And a lone ship of the UK. Who's here? Looks like, looks like one clipper transport from the British. So I'm just going to leave my unit here for the moment. No attrition, so why not? Just to see what happens in the vicinity. If the English bring a large navy, then that will be the time I'll begin justifying against the Ottomans. And here we can actually watch the battle, I think, if I can click on it. Well, let me click on it. Nope. Let's try... Nope. There we go. Alright, so one lone clipper transport being pursued, and just barely managed to get away. Literacy increase of 0.034 per month, and a few more research points just then. So things are looking up. Bureaucrats at 1.08. Let's see how that war is going. Looks like there is a minor blockade somewhere. Probably over in this region, if I were guessing. And the British are nowhere to be found. There's another lone British ship. It's not showing me what the composition is at the moment. It's like another clipper transport. Not exactly the best thing to take up against the Ottoman Navy, but who am I to say? Maybe that's part of the brilliant AI strategy. Lull the Ottomans into a false sense of security before coming back to crush them. Yeah, it doesn't look like an alliance with Prussia is going to happen anytime soon. France is a bit far away and flaky, so let's try Italy. Italy, of course, has a reason to go for Austria. A few Galicians. I think that number's dropped since last time I looked. So 23 max there, 15 or 9. Not a whole lot, certainly manageable. And it would be nice to get some immigration going, so we'll see. Looks like about 40% of the upper house would approve there. So we'll give that a little bit of time. Losing a tiny bit of money. I'll crank this up to 75. And Austria returns. Looks like I can mobilize a whopping 4 units again. Very hopeful that the Ottomans don't join in here. Ooh, this is not a good position to be in. Let's see. My navy down here is certainly at risk, so I will start to bring that back. Whew, really bad timing there. Alright. Let's try and avoid some attrition where possible. So 21 to there. That will not work. This guy needs to come across first. So looking again for stack kills. And again, just trying to survive. Hopefully they're not going for Croatia. They are going for Croatia. Okay, so I definitely have to defend the coast, which is unfortunate given the Ottomans are probably coming as well. And did the Ottomans join? The Ottomans did not join, so the Ottomans are too concerned about their war with Great Britain to join, and that is fantastic for me. So I've actually got a better shot at this. Looks like I could be going for another quick war goal against Austria at this moment, but also notice that the Ottomans lost their most powerful ally, so not quite as scary as they were before. Depending on how this goes, I might be adding Slovenia, or yeah, probably Slovenia. Italy's already formed, so I don't really want them as an enemy right now, so I'm not going for Istria, but maybe if I can get it later, I'll take it. So, the long march back. I'm gonna hold off mobilizing for a moment, because I don't want all of my units springing up underneath Austria's stack, depending on where Austria goes. I guess Austria's going to Croatia, so that makes sense. I didn't think that was going to give me attrition there. So we'll converge back onto Budapest. And hopefully another quick siege of Vienna. So let's go that way. That might work better. Alright, so run the clock a little bit. Is Krakow in? Bavaria's in. So about double my war score. Not terrible. Not great either, of course, but could definitely be a lot scarier. I'm going to work on some soldiers in the meantime. Hopefully repopulate some of these soldiers that were depleted. And you need to go this way. So a stack here that might be an early kill. Let's see what I can do there. And I believe I have level 1 forts everywhere now, so certainly no worse than it was the first time around. Possibly better. And Austria is going for Zagreb. Looks like all of their forces are at least initially converging on Croatia, which makes perfect sense, given that they're looking for war score over time. And it looks like I'll have medicine just in time for maybe right after this battle. Alright, so 7 and 6, 2, 3, 3. Don't really need cavalry for this. And a couple of units ready to break off, so that looks perfect. Get there on the 10th. Wait 2 days for that unit. And this one can come over to Bratislava along with some backup. th, 10th, 11th, 15th. Alright, so they're in plenty of time. This guy is a little bit worse for wear, but be the perfect unit to send to Vienna, I think. And a fairly decent hit there. Not for me, unfortunately, but for Austria. But that's perfectly fine. And that is a massive stack. Very scary. Luckily, due to my unit composition, I'm winning this battle anyway. Fortunately, looks like there's some undefended artillery. At least some weakly defended artillery. So don't quite have engineers yet. I'll be going for that soon, of course. So a stack kill to begin the war, and regroup, recover, etc. So I'll send the more likely to rebel units back to do some fighting. And looks like I've got some units that need to get some rest, so I can chill here for a little while sieging. 50,000 there. You get time to move back, I think. Safety in numbers. And very similar to the situation during the first war. I'm now... Oh, just about lost that navy. Not much chance of saving that one, unfortunately, but a cheap navy, easy to replace. Wasn't quite counting on that, so let's see, maybe I can hopefully draw Italy into this one step closer. And look at all of those units. So there's a a medium-sized stack going to Varaziden, and a smaller stack going to Sisak. Let's see if I'm looking at that correctly. So Württemberg's come to Varaziden as well, and I'm gonna play it safe at least for a moment. And all hands lost? No, but I do have military access in Italy now, so good timing on that. Really be a great time to draw Italy into this. You can see Baden is coming fearlessly into Eisenstadt, which very odd sort of thing to do, I would say. Tactics would be good. Engineers would be better. Let's go tactics. Let's go engineers. I can recover this unit if necessary. See what the roll is. Not terrible. Looks like the timing is right, so this won't end by the end of the month. I won't be taking attrition there. And any weak units? Nope. So perfect time to run back into battle. Hopefully I can get a good hit or two in. Ah, very good hit. For a stack kill, perfect. So very likely this unit will be coming back to Eisenstadt, which I'll be watching out for, of course. And otherwise just on the defensive. Let's see, not exactly the best composition there. If I could get both these units there at the same place, that would be perfect. So let's go to the 12th. 12th. And let's see what happens here. Start moving this guy in just in case. Take the long way around. So not a very terribly good roll there. On the other hand, strength in numbers. Here, even with a 0, I'm doing substantial damage, so this might work out regardless. And Vienna has been captured. Time to keep moving, pressing on to the more populated centers. So quite a nice roll there. I'm taking a bit of damage too, though. So a win. Not very pretty, but you know, I'll certainly take it. Alright, that unit will be moving off, and now's a good time to go in. Hopefully. Can I beat that unit? I'm not going to risk it just yet. A little bit too scary of a stack there, so I will leave the 21,000 here for defense. Maybe even swap out a couple units there. Oh, and it looks like Bavaria is actually marching through my stack, which is a bit of a shock, but that's what they want to do. More power to them. I certainly won't stop them. Or maybe I will stop them. That would be the perfect scenario. So also I'll be trying to sweep around depending on how the first rolls go. If I get a very high roll like a 9, I'll be moving in to assist. Otherwise I might be coming south to take this unit instead. So it's like a fairly decent roll there. Good time to move in, I would say. And that unit's preoccupied going to Vienna, so this unit should be safe. Oh, maybe not. So I'll be watching for that unit. Hopefully this battle will be over before this large stack makes it back in this area. And it looks like, not really sure where that unit's going just yet, but this is definitely going to be a win, if not an outright stack kill. So moving to Eisenstadt on the 14th. Can I complete the siege? This will be really close. I think I'm going to stay there just so I can get the capture. But this battle will probably be over before this one will. And a small stack destroyed there. Looks like it just spawned. One more day. One more day. And how many more days here? One more day. Alright, so right as that unit arrives, this battle is over, and it looks like the initial roll there is fantastic, so I'll be moving in to assist once again. Let's see, going to Zalaegerszeg. This one is going to Eisenstadt, so I'll be moving to Zalaegerszeg. Or not. Or my units can just completely screw me over. That works too. Who is this? That was not something I expected, but hopefully this battle will be over after a turn. Alright. So tons of units all in Zalaegerszeg. Still got a great roll. Let's move everyone to Zalaegerszeg. There's 38. There's 65 with the great roll. And try and sweep back to take out this small stack. Fantastic rolls in there. Alright, do your thing. Show me how badly you want to win. Might not be a bad time to move this other stack in, now that that unit is off its siege. let's see if I can knock off Austria off the offensive, and it looks like it worked. Austria's moving back to Vienna, and this siege is almost complete. I'll let that play out, even though I'll be taking a tiny bit of attrition there. And moving down here just for safety. One more day, 2 more days. Bit of pop growth there, fantastic. And these guys definitely need a break. So at the moment, Sopron looks like a safe place. So I'll be moving back to Sopron while I try and do some damage with this other stack. So I would say that definitely worked out pretty well. Austria has Croatia, and I am in a fairly good position, I would say, despite the looks of things. So I'll be trying to sneak back around, hopefully if I can, because my org is incredibly low at the moment. Really, really terrible. Alright, Bratislava, Eisenstadt. Small stack coming to Eisenstadt. Maybe I can take Saxony out before anything else happens. Bratislava on the 11th. This guy will be there in plenty of time. And I'm just going to park these units for a moment. Maybe I can knock Württemberg off. Nope, Württemberg is still coming. So, I'll just park here. Yeah, safety in numbers, good thing. Right, so you will do your thing. Quick kill there. And these 2 stacks can recover org in the meantime. And it's now a good time to go for the stack kill on Bavaria. Let's reorganize a tiny bit. So these guys need a break. I've got 11,000 ready to go. They can come in at the same time 1 day later, it looks like. And anyone good to go here? Actually, a couple of infantry, that's a bit surprising. Alright, 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, so 1 more day for this guy. And hopefully a stack kill there. Move this guy back just for safety. You know, you've got a powerful unit when, or a powerful convergence whenever Bavaria decides not to move in. Alright, 23rd, here we go. Ooh, nice hit there. Right. And a stack kill. Good. And let's see if I can take out this unit real quick. This guy, looks like they got a little bit of strength back. I'll move him down here. And actually now might be a good time to start sieging. So let's see, this is a fairly weak siege unit, but I guess perfect for sieging for that reason. So this one will stay here, prepare for the assist, and everyone else will go in for the kill. That's not quite what I expected, but alright, that works, I suppose. Looks like another good roll there. Maybe just a good composition. That was a terrible roll. Alright, so maybe a stack destroyed. And looks like a stack destroyed. So, well, not quite. Vienna and Graz. I'm going to let them run and try to sweep south to take out this unit. But I will reorganize a tiny bit. Nope, actually that's all fine. So a massive army coming down to Zlagershag to relieve the siege. Not so good a roll there. And a minuscule army coming back to recover Eisenstadt. Probably this unit will sweep back. And as expected, let's see, weak, could be better, weak, and let's give them a cav unit for support, so these guys can now come down and start sieging while the push continues back into Austrian territory. And of course, the worst timing possible, the Galician nationalists come to wreak havoc. And a stat kill in progress. Oh, guess I turned off my notifications for sieging and the like. Now this unit doesn't have any artillery, it looks like, so sieging a little bit slower than they might be. However, they do have at least one cav unit, maybe a hussar or something. So, not exactly the best siege unit I've ever seen, but slowly chugging along. Hopefully this one's org will recover by the time they're both finished with their sieges. I can come wipe that unit out. Alright, going to Vienna and Maribor. I think this time I'm going to play it a little bit safe. Actually take care of the rebels first. So, rebels. So we'll do this. Yeah, that'll work. I'll get this guy out of here. You can come down and help siege. And I do have one unit returning to Maribor for the kill there. Such a tempting unit. Alright, you convinced me. Let's go back. Back to Zlegerschig, or excuse me, Eisenstadt. So where is this guy going? Probably Jailovar. And one stack wiped out. So this one's going to Zlegerschig. 16th. Wonder if I can stop him. That'd be nice. Alright, so let's go wipe out some rebels. This might be a good stack to do that. Not too big to take very much attrition, but effective against rebels anyway. And the Bavarian army is probably going to Jailovar. And why are you not going to Vienna? You should be going that way. Alright, now that makes sense. Alright, so recovering the highest war goal objective while Austria flounders around and has its army destroyed. Perfect. And a pointless siege there. Wipe out the Bavarian army. That might not be a kill. So Austria is returning, and maybe I can take out that unit in the meantime. Hopefully not going to Vienna just yet, but we'll see. Right, so that unit is gone, and take out the rest of the rebels quite handily. Let's see where this unit's going. A little bit scary. I could probably take that unit out. Let's give it a shot. 3, 4, and returning to Vienna. Ooh, should I do it? 5 days. Very, very close. I will knock him off. I don't think he's going to return. And take Vienna, and then play it safe, come back around. Another siege of Brno, and then continue to the south. So in the meantime, those rebels should be wiped out, and it looks like this battle is going quite a bit better than I expected. Oh, and Italy Did I mention I wanted to be friends with Italy? Italy, it looks like, is taking this opportunity to recover its own cores. So that worked out just perfectly. Didn't even need to ally with Italy for this to occur. So Italy is trying to annex Parma, and Parma being in the Austrian sphere. Austria has no chance here, and luckily they'll be helping me with war score. So, or excuse me, helping me by destroying Austria's army, which I can then use to increase my war score. So, another stack destroyed. I wonder if Italy will actually siege my provinces. That would be pretty helpful. And I'll let Austria come back to Vienna, where hopefully Italy will destroy the stack. And one more. And then recover. Looks like Italy has no intention of helping me at the moment, at least in sieging my own provinces. So a little bit unfortunate, but what can you expect? Austria is returning to Vienna, and my siege of Karlovac is almost complete. There we go. Back to the south. So at the moment my war score should be pretty substantial. Let's see what it actually is. Minus 21. So fairly good time to look for Slovenia, at least once this war finishes. In the meantime, I'll just be building up soldiers to help take on the Ottomans. Let's see, speaking of soldiers, if I could ever click that. Let's see if I can actually build anything. Nothing too impressive at the moment. A couple of infantry here and there, but it looks like my soldier pops are still very low from the last war. So, sorry, Isaiah Soto. I'm not sure if I will be able to take Bosnia this time around, but I will give it my all as soon as this war is over. Let's see how they're doing against the British at the moment. That would be very good to know. So it looks like the British are losing in every category. So it looks like any units they might have managed to land have been killed off. Their navy is losing, which is giving them negative war score. And it's very unlikely that they'll be back to help me against the Ottomans in any meaningful way. Very depopulated soldiers there. Can I beat this unit? Just barely. So it looks like I will get the siege on Vienna. And this unit will probably sweep back around to try and take back some of the Italian captured provinces. At least that's my hope. Minimum life rating just dropped. I don't think that affects me at all, since I have no real naval power to speak of. But something to think about in the future. So an alliance from Greece, that's certainly useful against the Ottomans. 12 military power, 42, I have 36. This might be worth doing. Let's see if I can maybe get one more ally. Now if I could get an alliance with Italy, Prussia perhaps. Will Prussia ally with me? Why won't you ally? I didn't realize I still had infamy, but okay, that makes sense. Just a little bit too much infamy, and relations slightly too low for that, but I do have some diplomatic points now, back up to rank 17, so I'll be increasing relations with Italy in hopes that they will help join me in battle against the Ottomans. And now might be a good time to also offer the military access. Offer military access. 20th. So, being at war, they will, of course, accept. And Austria is on the run. On the run. And, of course, more rebels. Because why not? Alright. I guess I can take care of those. No problem. And a couple of units dangerously close. Let's move them back to here. So I'll wait a few minutes to see how the war plays out between Italy and Austria before beginning to justify a war against the Ottoman Empire for Bosnia. And it looks like a few disgruntled soldiers here and there are actually rebelling. They're going AWOL up in this B. 13 more possible brigades. Looks like there's a very high chance of that happening. However, the numbers are going down, so that's good. I think I am managing to keep the people fairly happy with these low taxes. Even though Galicia is my most populous state, I'm not going to be encouraging soldiers there because I'm almost certain they will instantly rebel against me. Alright, and that unit disappeared on its own for some reason, so that works. A few soldier pops now that are not depopulated, but very much in the minority. There's a small stack, should be hopefully an easy kill. Losing some units there, but some good hits and a stack kill nonetheless. Perhaps I can add a war goal, or not Istria, where is it? Slovenia. Will they let me take Slovenia? Try and get an alliance with Italy first, might be the better way to do this. Of course I need a few more diplomatic points for that, although I am now a secondary power, so that will be coming a little bit quicker than it was before. And Austria is completely occupied. These guys just don't know when they're conquered. And maybe a few more. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Maybe a few more soldier pops of the appropriate persuasion. So I'm going to wait till I get muzzle loaded rifles so I can build these as engineers, siege a little bit faster. No reason for that icon. Let's clear out the mess. Alright, so rebellions are under control for the time being. It's like very few new rebels capable of coming back. It's like a max of about 7 units or so. Not really a problem at this point. War exhaustion, it's fairly high. I guess that was from the time where Croatia was under rebel or Austrian occupation. So I'm going to go ahead and add a war goal for Slovenia. So I'm definitely not getting Istria, and even if I did, Italy would just come right back after me. So Let's see if they added any other war goals. They've added all of their war goals. So annex Parma, acquire Venetia, and acquire South Tyrol. So if Italy gets Venetia and I get Istria, then I'm screwed. So I'll be adding Slovenia as a fairly safe target for the time being. On the other hand, what is the war score, war exhaustion here? 19. So my war exhaustion is not that bad. See, if I end the war now, I can burn off the rest of my infamy and drop my war exhaustion, and that would put me in a really good place to declare war on the Ottoman Empire. So, Isaiah, you're in luck. I'll be offering white peace. Or if I can add something very cheap, maybe humiliate. Not really worth it. Release puppet might be good. Cause them to release Dalmatia and give me 10 prestige in the process, but prestige is gone almost instantly. On the other hand, the fact that they don't have Dalmatia means that this can be cleared up for conquest later. So I'll hold off on that for now. Alright, white peace it is. This will burn off slowly. Wait till war exhaustion drops a little bit, and then begin. I guess that'll be the second half of this part 2, which will be the conquest of Bosnia. And an alliance with Italy. And time to begin justifying acquire state. Austria has released Venice. Venice being the rump state portion of Istria, which I'm sure will be, oh, actually they're allied with Italy at the moment. That's a bit surprising. And North Italian patriots are about to free the remainder of Istria. So much for not having a border with Italy. Justifying a war. Still a long time to go, due mainly to the war exhaustion, which I had forgotten about, but anyway, I will let that continue, and sooner or later it will fire regardless, so not too important, but as you can see it's dropping by about 40 days or so per month, so it'll be over pretty soon. And another quick sham war. This will be over in a couple of seconds probably, once Italy gets some units on the border. That's quite a stack that Venice has there. This is not helping my war exhaustion. Would you please get some units over there? What are you doing? Are you serious? You're just gonna sit there? Okay, so are you actually at war? And 8.7 infamy for the war goal, it looks like. Which Which means a lot longer to get it. Come on, Italy. What are you doing? Why are you being stupid? This is stupid. Alright, Venice is finally doing something. And it looks like they're losing terribly. Just exactly what I wanted. And Italy is sitting there like an idiot. Why aren't you attacking? Are you serious? Come on, get over there. It's not hard. Just walk that way. It's like 4 days. It's a quick trip. Alright, finally a unit. Yeah, go Italy. Yeah. Show them what's up. You kill those Italians, Italy. Should mention I decided to go with ideological thought for the additional national focus, so I can hopefully get some you know, additional tech and soldiers out of that. Do need soldiers in the short term, so I'll be going that first. And let's see what's next. Let's go. I like forts. Let's go strategic mobility. As I mentioned, forts are fairly cheap in this mod, unlike maybe PYR if you played multiplayer. Definitely want to get rid of that war exhaustion in any way possible. So, not too much left. Let's see how the war justification is going. So, a little over a year on that. Not terrible. So, let's go whistle stop. New ideology. And First Minister is not someone I care about. Let's get rid of him. Notice at this point my military score is almost equal to the Ottomans thanks to the new units I built. And of the people is good. I like to keep that militancy down. I don't particularly care about the ruling party support though. Alright, are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding. Alright, well this will be over in a hurry, so hurry up and lose your war. It's not like I wanted you to help me against the Ottomans or anything. This will be very quick, I imagine. Here's Johnny. That's gotta hurt. Well, those units. I'm glad I'm not on the French border. We're with you in spirit, Italy. We're right there with you. Can I build anyone else? One unit. I think I still need another engineer. Let's see. Yeah, this guy needs an engineer. So many units. Are they even mobilized? Doesn't look like it. Military parade. A few prestige points. Up to 14th now. moving up in the world. Keep those relations up. So we got some diplomatic points to spend now. Let's keep Russia happy, because Russia. So 208 days for the war with the Ottomans. And are the Ottomans still at war? They are! The Ottomans are still at war, and their war exhaustion is fairly high compared to mine. So that looks good. Even if they were to end the war at this point, it would still be high relative to mine. I'm going to ignore military access requests from other nations. It's kind of a pointless pop-up. And there's a massive suffrage movement, but despite that, I'm unable to get any sort of reform. It's actually lower now than it was before. So I would love to go full liberal at some point. Let's get these guys a little bit of experience. Not the best army composition, but it'll work. And looks like I can build a couple more units now. That should be good for one more stack. And so much for Italy. Trying to free Romagna as well. Oh, what was that last one? Also trying to free Venice. This is an interesting development. So, nice knowing you, Italy. It was fun while it lasted. Whoa. Damn it, you bastard. Are you kidding me? Alright, so looks like that war is over. Let's see. France accepted the peace offer from Italy, acquires Savoy, Romagna acquires Romagna, Venice acquires Venetia, dismantled constructions in Piedmont. So, Fun prelude to what will come next, I'm sure. In this particular mod, you'll notice that Savoy is a little bit different from it is in some other mods in vanilla. So Savoy is actually here in this area. It's actually split, and both Italy and France contain it as a core, or included as a core. So it can go either way at any given time, just depending on who's more powerful at the moment. So it looks like Italy will probably not be able to help me against the Ottomans, given that it just got completely obliterated. I do have my CB at this point, and as soon as this stack recovers from its our rude uninvited guests, I'll be beginning the assault. Okay, so at this time, looks like we're building forts virtually everywhere across Hungary. Those are being upgraded to level 2. A couple more navy units being built, and otherwise 4 stacks ready to go. The one in recovering is now back here with a little bit more experience, but worse for wear. I think at this point, a good time to go. So the war with Great Britain ended. War exhaustion now is down to 21% for the Ottomans, and they have 43 units. I have 50 at the moment, and it looks like I'm trying to build a couple more. So here begins the conquest of Bosnia. Wish me luck. See if I can get Italy and Greece to join me on this. That'll be amazing if they actually did. So looking for some very fast sieges here and a quick increase in war score over time. So Italy and Greece are both in the war. Let's see if Serbia will actually let me pass through. Yes, good there. A little bit of attrition. Maybe I'll go this way and try and block off the Ottomans in Novi Pazar. Actually, I'll go here to Foka, since that's actually part of the war goal. Now at the moment, I am also at war with both Wallachia and Moldavia, but I'm not too concerned about their militaries for obvious reasons. I can always bring this stack over and probably take care of them without any trouble. So it looks like this one's going to Udvar High. And maybe I can cut him off before the 2 armies converge. I'm not too concerned about whatever happens aside from Bosnia. Simply I need to hold this area long enough to get some sort of war score. And of course Greece will be doing whatever Greece is doing in the south. So I can turn that off and see something a little bit more informative. Alright, so a couple of quick sieges. Doesn't look like the Ottomans have bothered to mobilize yet. That, or maybe there's just nothing worth mobilizing in Bosnia. It's another possibility. So, let's see, is this safe? Yes. Easy stack kill there. Oh, looks like he's on the run. And do I have a fast unit? Go 5. Go 4. Let's see if this works. Yes. And now this unit can sweep back to siege Novi Pazar. And slowly move in, converge on Istanbul, of course. It'll take a while for most of the Turkish army to arrive, if they can arrive at all. So now that the army is almost there, a little bit gamey, but you know, what can you do? It's the AI. So dropping about 300 a month there. Quite a dig-in bonus, it looks like. And I do not want to deal with that unit just yet. Let's see. Nope, I will recover to maintain this unit for the time being. Serbia, of course, also has objectives within the Ottoman Empire, so Unfortunately, they also have objectives within Hungary, so they will never ally me, at least under normal circumstances. Otherwise, could be a very valuable ally. It's just, you know, AI weirdness that it won't let them ally with me. And here we go, the money sink. So hopefully get a couple more sieges in before the Ottoman army arrives. But I'll be trying to maintain something of a line here. Of course, taking attrition everywhere I go. But still pumping out units for the military. Let's see, what's going on up here? Russia? Are you serious? Oh my god. Wow. Well, that just got snuck in out of nowhere. Okay. So this is not going to happen, clearly. Unless I can get a ton of stack kills on Russia, which is unlikely, but I'll give it a shot. Russia, why? Nothing else, I can get some prestige out of it. A little bit of experience would be nice. Alright, time to recover back to Hungary. So much for Bosnia. That is a massive stack. Those are all massive stacks. Could just give up now, but I'd rather see what I can do against Russia. Nothing else than for shits and giggles. Damn it. On the bright side, Russia can't actually impose any sort of war goal, which is good, so I could just wait here until they get down on the plains and then swarm. And I think that sounds like the best idea at the moment. Small unit. So nothing Russia can do can really hurt me right now, aside from giving me some war exhaustion. But that I would have to burn off regardless, so it doesn't really matter. So just hang out here, wait for a unit to come down and see what kind of damage I can do. And here we go. Fourth of May, 7th May. I think that's right. 7, 7, 11. Let's get a couple more in for good measure. Maybe get lucky. That was a good hit. Unfortunately, a good hit for Russia, too. $18,000. And Russia's on the run. Alright, let's see how far this goes. No river crossings, 22nd, 22nd. But you know, I'm still in the red. Come on, stack kill. That's a really good hit there. Alright, going to wherever that is. So he will get there first. They will pursue. Let's try and get there at the same time. And looks like I'll have army professionalism just in time. So again, it's clearly not going to be a win, but why the hell not? Looks like this unit's trying to come in to assist, or possibly siege Satmar, I'm not sure. An obvious couple of stack kills there. Perfect timing on that. And going back in the right direction. 2nd July. July. Alright, let's see what happens. Another nice bit of damage. Not a great roll, but good enough to get a kill maybe. A couple of casualties. It's a nice experience. And then back on the run again. Let's see, recover that unit. This unit can chill here. Oh, it's never ending. How many units have they got? 168. Fantastic. Again, a decent roll, but not good enough. I rolled a 0 there. Huh. Actually, I did roll something. Alright, first, fourth. 1, 2, 3. Fourth. Alright. And another fairly nice roll there. Still doing some damage. Yeah, that one cost me a little bit. I'm for very low org now, though. About here. Not so good. Ah. Oh, that was fun while it lasted. If I can kill that unit. Kill that one at least. So I'll kill that unit and then basically call it a day, I guess. But yeah, I have no hope of winning this war. War exhaustion is simply going to go through the roof. And course, losing tons of cash. So now the people will be pissed off. See if I can wipe out these units. Well, at least the Russians don't have anything left with a lot of experience. Why do battles take so long? It's one unit. Alright, 13th. 21st. Alright, I'll catch that one in time. Hopefully I can kill it, and if not, I'll just tap out. Fairly decent. Nice. Nice. Nope, still on the run. I'll deprive Russia of that juicy, delicious experience, which I so desperately need for my units. 2 stars. And lots of attrition, but that's okay. All is worth it in the name of stack kills, and that was not what I was hoping for. I'll get a bit of prestige off of it. Balti, and that guy's coming to kick my ass. So, time to peace out. Good game, Russia. Good game. How much am I losing for this? Okay, not a whole lot. Actually, I didn't lose any prestige because I'm already at the minimum, so I suppose a bit of a lesson there. That is always check to see who your no longer great power neighbors, even if you initially thought they were great powers, see who is friends with them before you declare war, especially if it's your more happy Slavophile neighbor Russia. It's definitely not someone you want to piss off if you can help it. So, could have gone better all around, I would say. But anyway, like I said before, if things don't go well, that's just the way it goes. It's Victoria 2. So, I'll run with it, see how I can improve next time around. It's been a fairly long session. I'll be trimming this down quite a bit. And so here we have the end of the unsuccessful Hungarian conquest of Bosnia, which followed the almost complete dissolution of Austria, with the exception of Bohemia, Moravia. So next time, give me some ideas. Let me know what you think I should try. I'm willing to give anything a shot, as long as it's not, suicide against Russia. It's something I'm trying to avoid. But aside from that, I'm open to just about anything. Let me know what you think, and have a good one. Bye.